The weather is finally beginning to warm up here in Ontario, making it the perfect time to check out my garden and start a couple of outdoor projects. Today, I'm going to focus on creating a few custom DIY planters to enhance my deck and front porch with seasonal charm. Hey there, my name is Sandra, and you're watching The Schwowin's Nest. Buying new planters every year isn't something that is within my budget. So what I try to do is take planters that I already have and just freshen them up, give them a new look, a new life, and then they work really well within my space. This terracotta planter I have had for probably over 30 years. I have not used it for many, many years. It's just been sitting down in my basement. So I decided it was time to bring this out and give it a makeover. The color I'm using is called Mudslide. I think it looks sort of like a nice latte or coffee color. It's really pretty and it has a bit of a semi-gloss look to it, which I'm okay with because this always makes it easier to clean, especially when they're outdoors. I'm making sure that I don't spray too heavily on the first coat because then sometimes you get some drips. Although sometimes I do tend to get heavy-handed and there will be a drip coming soon, I believe. But once this coat has dried, then I'll just go over it one more time with a second coat. And that's all this planter needed. For this second planter, I'm going to use this color called Fuzzy Moss. This planter is really faded. It was a really dark blue to begin with. I think I've had it for probably 15 years because plastic just doesn't erode. It's a really good medium to use for your outdoor planters, but they do need refreshing once in a while. This planter has a citronella plant in it. I need that around my deck because the mosquitoes we have here are huge and they love me. This pot is really big. I'm going to give it a couple of coats of this heirloom white to make sure that it's completely covered. I don't want to see any of that red. Now, this pot doesn't have any holes at the bottom of it, so I'm going to be using it for a different project. It's not going to get any plants in it. I want this to look like a really upscale planter, and I think the different designs on it will just actually help to make it look a little bit more high end. So once I'm done with these two coats, I'm going to be adding a couple of different colors to it to make it look like it's been outside forever and that it actually has even a bit of a stone appearance. I'm using the brown spray paint, which is the color Mudslide, and I'm going to go over the whole white, but I don't want to cover it all up. It's going to be darker in some spots, lighter in other spots. You can go as dark or as light as you want with this type of technique. One thing that makes doing planters like this really handy is a turntable. I have a wooden one down underneath this piece of cardboard, and you'll probably have noticed that I put a piece of cardboard underneath each pot. That just gives me the ability to pick the cardboard up, move the pot out of the way, and then continue on with my next project. But the turntable is just an amazing tool to have, and I'm sure if you don't have one yet, you'll be able to find one at a thrift store. Since I'm doing this outside on a really warm day, it doesn't take long for each of these layers of spray paint to dry. Now I'm going over it with black, and as you can see, I'm doing the same thing as I did with the brown, just kind of hitting it in some spots. It's going to be darker, it's going to be lighter, but it's giving it that speckled look that I really think makes it look more like a stone piece. Here's a close-up look of the texture on it. I think it looks amazing. I love all the speckling. It kind of even looks like a pottery piece. Now I've got the pot turned right side up, and I'm just going to be giving the top portion of it a hit with some black spray paint just to freshen it up and make it look a little bit more clean. I've placed the pot on a stump to raise it up a little bit higher. I'll probably do some decorating down underneath it at another point, but just for today, I'm going to be filling it with water and then adding a solar fountain to it. I love having a water feature on my deck, so when I'm sitting outside, I can hear the little bubbling and splashing. It's so calm and soothing. This is the little solar lantern that I picked up from Amazon. I will have a link for it down in my description box, and it will also be in my Amazon store. These are so much fun, and look at how much water is coming out of this one. Make sure that it's in direct sunlight for most of the day because otherwise it's going to burn out the battery. And you'll always want to have a full pot of water here too, because if the water runs out, then you also run the risk of burning out the battery. Now you can see that this one is kind of floating all over the place. It does come with 4 straws that you can hook into the bottom of the lantern, and then it'll keep it centered. Because the straws are plastic, you can definitely go ahead and trim them down. Now, what I ended up doing was trimming them down to fit the amount of water that I had in this pot right now. Then I filled it up some more and my straws were cut a little too short. So make sure that you fill up your pot as much as you want the water in it and then size adjust the straws. These solar fountains also come with different spouts, so you can get a totally different effect. I find that some of these taller ones end up spraying the water outside of my pot, and then I'm going to lose my water. So I end up just doing the small little one like this, and that works out really well for me. It's quite windy out today, so you might hear a little bit of that in the background, but I wanted to give you a video of what everything looks like on my deck. This blue pot right in front was a garage sale find for $5, and it's a glazed terracotta pot. So I really love the color of that. I think it goes perfectly with the brown of the one pot and the green of the citronella. The brown pot has a forsythia tree in it that I brought from my lake house. It was kind of buried in between some older trees and was not doing too well. So I'm hoping to revive it so I can plant it in my garden in the fall. In another corner of my deck, I have this faux ficus tree that I found at a thrift store for $15, and I've just put it in an old rusty enamel pot with my concrete rock snail next to it. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my front porch. I do not do a lot of real plants during the summer. I would love to do a bunch of annuals and have beautiful colors blooming all summer, but we spend a lot of time in the summer at our lake house, and I don't want to always have to count on other people to come and water my plants. So this year I did something a little differently. I pulled out some hostas and different plants out of my garden, put them into the pots, and then just added some faux florals here and there. Now, I'd love for you to grab your favorite beverage, a coffee, a tea, a beer, whatever suits you, and just watch all of the beautiful greenery that's popping up out of my garden in my backyard. I hope you enjoy. I have always enjoyed having lots of greenery and privacy in my backyard. So the majority of my trees came from our lake house many, many years ago. They've grown into beautiful structures in my backyard, and I love using perennials so I don't have to worry too much about watering them when I'm away. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye for now.